do the first time tag. I kind of watched a bunch this weekend and I was like, oh, well, I haven't done a tag video in a long time, so I think this would be fun. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. And the first question for the first time tag is, do you still talk to your first love? And I do still talk to my first love. It is Bowerbird. I never was really in love with anyone until I met him. Yes, I still talk to my first love. What was your first job? My first job was working at the YMCA. I was a kids zone, I think that's what they called it, but it was a kids zone counselor, and I watched kids after school. And like, well, for me it was after school, but when their parents would go to the gym at the YMCA or anything like that, they would drop off their kids in the kids zone, and I was one of the responsible people to make sure that children did not hurt themselves. So yeah, that was kind of really interesting. I do remember a few of those kids from that time, and it was a cool first job. What was your first car? My first car, I believe, was I want to say Tercel, but I don't think Tercel is an actual car. Was it a Taurus? I think it was a Taurus. My first car was my mother's car, and it ended up breaking down right before I turned 18, and then I got another car. I've actually gone through a lot of cars. I've had a lot of bad luck in my life when it comes to cars. Who was the first person to text you today? I actually don't know that, so hold on one second. First person to text me. Oh, it was my sister, because she was asking about my reunion that I went to this past week. So yeah, it was my sister. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? Was myself. I thought, damn, you have a big headache. That's what I thought, because I woke up with a huge headache. Who is your first grade teacher? Miss Niddle? I don't remember. I just remember I got in trouble a lot. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? Washington, D.C. It was a 8th grade trip, and I went with a few people from my 8th grade class, and yeah, it was to Washington, D.C. Who is your first best friend, and do you still talk? My very first best friend from preschool, her name was Ashley. Yeah, we went to the YMCA together. She was my first best friend. I actually ended up running into her when we were older, and she didn't remember me. And I think that's kind of stuck with me in some like other issues in my life. But yeah, Ashley. Ashley was my first best friend. And we do not talk at all. So, where was your first sleepover? My first sleepover was at Ashley's house, and it was a Beauty and the Beast themed birthday. I remember the invitation that was in my little cubby, and I believe that I do believe my first sleepover was at her house. No, I'm wrong. I had a sleepover way before then. Okay, so even before I went to preschool, I had this like bestie named Kenneth, that's my first best friend. Kenneth is my first best friend, and Kenneth I still talk to. Oh my god, how did I not remember this? I actually stayed at Kenneth's place like in Houston when I was like driving around the country. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad, Kenneth. Yes, Kenneth was my first best friend. I do still occasionally talk to him, and he was my first sleepover because we would go on camping trips together as little kids before preschool. And I would stay over at his house all the time. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Kenneth. We like just recently talked about this like a few months ago. Well, like 6 months ago, but still. Oh, I feel so bad. I really do. Okay, whose wedding were you in the first time? It is a former friend of my mom's. They are no longer friends, and I was the flower girl. What was the first concert you went to? I went to see Incubus at USC. Brandon Boyd, he is a hottie. First broken bone. I've, knock on wood, have never broken a bone. First piercing, I got my ears pierced and those were like the first things I ever got pierced. First piercing outside of my ears pierced as a child. I got my belly button pierced and hid it from my mom. And then when she found it, she called me an asshole. But I ended up taking it out because I'm really not a belly button girl, and I got it like one Valentine's Day because it was in Hollywood and silly and whatnot. So I'm just not really a piercings person. I am more of a tattoo person. First foreign country you've gone to, Mexico. First movie you remember seeing. The first movie I remember seeing actually in the theaters, I want to say, is Hocus Pocus. I know that I saw other movies before then, but like Hocus Pocus was one of like the most significant movies to me. Like I remember when I was really little, I only drank Sprite, and I would get a Sprite when we would go to the movies, and I was so amazed and fascinated by that movie. I was like entranced that I never drank out of my Sprite, not once, and it like shocked me. I kept on telling my parents like, I didn't drink out of my Sprite, I didn't drink out of my Sprite, because I thought that was like the most amazing thing ever. But yeah, I like Hocus Pocus was probably like the first movie I saw that I was completely like mesmerized by. But I'm sure I saw other movies before them. It just didn't make as strong of an impression. When was your first detention? My first detention was, if you don't count being held during recess for not doing your homework in the first grade. Told you I got in trouble a lot. My first actual detention, I believe, was in the 5th grade because I kept on chewing gum, or I kept on bringing candy to school. I went to a Catholic school and we weren't allowed to chew gum or bring candy to the school, and I kept doing it. I kind of have a thing with rules. I'm a rule breaker. Just a little bit. Who was your first roommate? My first roommate was, I momentarily moved to Venice Beach, and I lived with 2 girls, and I don't really want to say their names just because of privacy. I don't know. I definitely don't talk to one anymore at all, and the second I occasionally talk to, but I'm just kind of not going to name her just to keep her anonymity. So, but she's a very, very sweet girl, and I still sometimes occasionally talk to her, but not that often. Yeah. So, and we all worked together at Urban Outfitters back in the day. That's how we knew each other. If you had one wish, what would it be? While I was watching the first time tag, and I kept on seeing, and like I was listening to other people with like, if you had one wish, at the time, what was going on? I was kind of like really frustrated with something, and I was like, oh, I wish I'd never be tired. Like, I wish that I could just turn myself on and off like a robot. That would be awesome. Or have a dream machine and record your dreams, or make a wish machine and just make wishes come true. But I think like that's tricky. It's like Genie style or The Secret. But if I really had one wish, I think I would wish for, yeah, I don't want to make it all deep, honestly, because it's just like, then you get really on some like other levels kind of stuff. And, you know, I think everyone would wish for something, you know, for goodness for their family and goodness for the world. And, you know, nobody wishes for bad things. So, I'm actually going to decide to make this fun. Okay, if I had one wish, it would be to be able to like get myself like go into movies and then come out of movies. So like I could be in the party in Breakfast at Tiffany's, and like all those people are there, and Audrey Hepburn's there, and they're all there as the character, and I can be a part of it, like one of those extra background characters. But like in that world, not be in the movie like on the set and stuff. Like I mean like be a part of that world. I'd want to do that. So I'd want to be able to like go into movies and exit movies like that one movie from the 90s. And I think we're like almost towards the end. What is something you would learn if you had the chance? I would want to learn martial arts. I'd want to learn like every single martial arts there is. I'd want to be a, like, I would want to learn them all and be like really skilled at it so I could go and be like a stunt person. I really like, you know, tough ladies in action films. Like Alice from the Resident Evil series, she's a big idol of mine. So I would want to just learn martial arts so I could go and kick butt. And be like have that whole, like, you think that I'm weak, but you have no idea. Whoop-ah! That's what I want. And then, what was the first person, beauty related, on YouTube you ever watched? So, the first beauty person I ever watched, I think, was Elle Fowler. And I really honestly didn't even start watching beauty videos until I started working at a beauty company. And I worked in their social media, and I knew that watching, like, honestly, I knew that there was a beauty community on YouTube, but I was not a part of it. I did not, like, follow anyone. I was so removed from it. So I only started watching, like, beauty videos and see the beauty community for the last 3 years. And the first person I ever actually, like, really liked after, cause, like, I don't know, I really didn't care. I mean, I liked Elle Fowler, but I didn't, like, super connect with her. And so I think the next person that I watched after her was Ingrid Nilsson, or Miss Glamorazzi, and I connected with her a little bit more. But then, honestly, the people that, like, I super connect with and I really, like, follow and I comment on a lot and all that kind of stuff is the people that I've already mentioned in past videos, and because I'm a dork. And I really like Estee. Estee's really cool. But, you know, I'm just naming the top 10. So, yeah. So my first beauty person was Elle Fowler, or what is her, like, Glitter 21 or something? All That Glitters 21. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's my first time tag. And on my new camera. So it's my first video on this new camera, and that was my first time tag. And yeah. So, alright, it was awesome doing this video, and I can't wait to edit it, and I can't wait to send it out to the universe and send it all to you guys. So until next time, love, light, and be kind to people. Alright, bye.